Check out my prompt.
Huh?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Too Much CGI. I am Bill with my friend Scott. How are you, Scott?
I'm doing pretty good. About yourself?
I'm exhausted, brother. I just came back from New York City. I was there last night and took the train in today. And I decided to walk. I was in Midtown, so I decided to walk, which is a mere 29 minutes to the train station. I'm in absolute agony right now. My feet hurt so bad. I'm already sore. I'm super tired, and I'm on my third cup of coffee. I'm showing my age.
You're not made for that big city living.
I was in New York probably once a week. I was, in my dirty rocker boy days, I was getting in all kinds of trouble.
Were you there on business or pleasure?
This time it was a little of both.
Okay.
But I love New York, man. And it was so cold and everybody's so mean but colorful. And I love it. I love it.
Felt right at home, huh?
It's perfect. Like you stop by one of those really like smelly dirt water stands. You always got to get a dirt water dog. Those things are just so good, even though they taste like rat. And then you go into some deli and you order a sandwich and you basically get yelled at, hassled, growled at while you're trying to make an order. What do you want? What kind of cheese? I said, fucking cheddar. Like, that's how they talk to you. And I'm just used to it. So it's very comfortable. And then I came home to this rainstorm that we're, enduring here.
Yeah.
At least it's not snow. That's what everybody says.
Was it raining up there?
No, not at all.
Oh.
First day was a little bit. Today was a great day.
Well, not to tickle your ass with a feather, but the weather could always be worse. We'll get to that later.
Tickle, tickle, tickle.
Uh-oh, what are you telling me?
Surprise topic.
Oh, tickle, tickle, tickle. Ooh la la.
I watched Minty's video from last week that you talked about. The Ooh La La video about Commando. Yeah, I hear it on the video, but when we were listening to it on playback, it just sounded like a stammer. I didn't hear the ooh la la, but it's there. It's undeniably there.
Listen carefully. Ooh la la. It is definitely there.
What Minty says goes.
Oh, man, I've been thinking about it since the last show. Ooh la la. Ooh la la.
It was fun to edit and do during playback, for sure.
Well, if you don't know what we're talking about, go listen to the last episode. Ooh la la. And you'll be clued in. So on the train coming home, before I came into the rainstorm, I said shitstorm, the rainstorm that was what I walked into in Philadelphia and everything was almost flooded where I was. I started reading the newspaper.
I'm sorry, the what?
A blog on your phone. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The newspapers. I did see someone reading the newspaper on the train. I was like, where do you get those? But so I'm looking at this article and, I like talking about the AI stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's all over the place. But how about this? Adobe is putting out new generative AI, right? That's the kind of AI that we talk about that can generate new pictures and generate movie scripts and all these things. Now it can generate music. But not like noisy crap that I may have told you about before. Real good music that you could do anything you want with. Would you like to hear what I watched today?
Yeah, I was going to ask what kind of music we're talking here.
Give this a listen. Imagine it's two people talking to each other. It's clearly staged. One guy walked into the developer who's working on this thing and, it's kind of corny, but he gives you a good walkthrough of what they've discovered with this new technology.
Don from Adobe here. I'm super excited to show you this new project from Adobe Research using generative AI to co-create music. Let's go check it out. What's up, Nick?
How you doing, Dom?
Pretty good. I heard you got a new project cooking up.
Yeah, I've been working on some music co-creation with precise control. I can take an input melody that sounds like this, and then you can generate the accompaniment, in this case, some film music.
So we'll pause it here. So a prompt is essentially you write in what you want. I want a melody that sounds, and then I want a company to a melody, and then I want you to turn it to an R&B. So it's basically you're telling it what kind of music you want. The more specific you are, the better the results will be.
Now they hit a hip hop prompt.
Check out this other example where I can control the intensity up or down.
Oh yeah, no, that was intense.
Did you write any songs?
Yeah, I actually do make music.
What type of songs do you write?
I like to write love songs.
Love songs? All right, I got some R&B music.
R&B music, okay.
With a little chorus verse intro type thing. Yeah, take a listen.
So, man, how about it? Like, that didn't sound terrible.
It sounded like other music you would hear in the background of podcasts and just
old music. Yeah. Elevators.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The video goes on and it's just, it's entry level stuff, but this is so impressive at entry level that it's like, give this 3 years and now songwriters are going to be, out of business.
I was just thinking that guy's like, well, I do write music. Yeah, you did.
You did. You used to be relevant until
you used to.
Yeah. I love how nerdy the guy is too, the music developer, the AI music developer. Hey, what's up, man? Are you into music? Why, yes, sir. I am. Let me show you this amazing thing I'm working on. Nerd.
Check out my prompt.
So there's another big step for AI. Now it can do music. Thanks, Adobe. Google already, no, it wasn't Google. Who was it? It was DeepMind, or maybe it was, I'm losing track. There's so many AI players out there now. But have you heard about Sora?
Yeah, you mentioned Sora last week. We didn't get too into it, but you did say that Sora was just announced, and that's going to be a big deal as far as photorealistic photos or videos that you can't, like deep fake videos you can't tell the difference of. Yeah. But yeah, you mentioned it.
Yeah, a few more videos have come out from Sora, like demo videos, because it's not ready to play with yet. And it's going to fool everybody, if that's what people want to do with it.
Of course, that's what people want to do with it. That's what the internet is these days.
You know what it's getting to be?
It's getting to be goddamn ridiculous.
Thank you, drunk John Wayne.
Have you heard that full rant?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My God.
Giving life advice while he's smashed.
Yeah, this line here. It's getting to be goddamn ridiculous. You men, you better start acting like men. Or it's like, what are you talking about? Like, he's on stage drunk, having thoughts to a crowd who's just like, you can, I don't know if there's video for it. I've only ever heard the audio. But you can hear how uncomfortable the audience is.
He was really just ahead of his time. I hear people saying shit like this all the time on podcasts, on everything else. Look at fucking Joe Rogan. It feels like one of his topics.
It's getting to be goddamn ridiculous.
It's getting to be goddamn ridiculous.
Are you still watching the Airbender thing?
No, I gave up on that. After those couple episodes and the crappy CGI, I was just out. Just out. I think bad CGI now, just in general, I refuse to watch any more of it.
Anything you are watching?
I got into Ted Lasso, finally.
Oh, I've never seen it. I've heard good things.
What do you hear about it?
I just know that people got like real excited when season 2 came and went. And people are like really jacked up about the character. And yeah, I really just know it's a football guy that coaches soccer.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good on paper. Remember last week we were talking about like settings that haven't been used? Here's a American soccer coach who goes overseas. He goes to London to play soccer there. It's football. And the owner wanted to tank the team because it belonged to her ex-husband. So it was just like a rich woman wanting to burn her rich ex.
Dude, that's like the entire basis of Major League.
Is it really?
Charlie Sheen. Yeah.
Damn, I think you're right. And basically, after the first episode, you realize, oh, the woman who's supposed to be bad is going to turn out to be good. And everybody they just keep adding to the show becomes happier. And just Ted Lasso is like this beacon of joy and happiness. But there's nothing to the show, so I stayed away from it. And then my business partner was like, listen, man, you saw Shrinking, you loved it. You saw Louder Milk, you loved it, which you still got to see, by the way. I heard it might actually be coming back to Netflix. It's like being revived.
Oh.
People are finding this show that came and went, then went to Netflix, and now they're finding it on Netflix. Now suddenly they're like, hey, 4th season? Well, shit, we moved on, guys. But that's happening. That's like a new Netflix phenomenon.
So let me get this straight. So I do know one more thing about Ted Lasso. I know he's from Kansas City, because I believe one of the shirts he wears has on like all the popular barbecue places in Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh, I don't know. I don't even remember.
Yeah. But he was a soccer coach here in the States too. I
Yeah.
thought he I didn't realize he was a soccer coach. I thought he was a football coach that went to go coach soccer. I didn't realize he was a soccer player here as well.
Well, it rips off Major League and it rips off Bad News Bears because this is a team that, was supposed to go nowhere. They start getting better and better. But I just got to tell you, I mean, after going back to the other shows that I saw, Louder Milk, I've already forgotten the other, Shrinking. This is the third show that has such good, like, feel-good moments every episode. And I think I said on this show not too long ago, I'm getting tired of everything just dark and it's, I just want happy shit. And I'm starting to find it. And I would have never gone to this Ted Lasso. I would have never thought this would be something I'd like. But somehow that thin setting that this whole show is based on works. You start to fall in love with every character they introduce to you.
Wow.
So I see why people get excited, but it doesn't sound on paper like something people would get excited about.
Yeah. Yeah. Right now they have the 12th and final season of Curb Your Enthusiasm on HBO. And like, I'm just holding off from watching it because I don't want it to be over. As long as I don't watch it, I still have new Curb Your Enthusiasm to watch,
Wasn't that off for a while?
They don't do every year. Like, this is the 12th season, but it's been on since like 2001 or something like that. So they do it every couple years or every whenever. So there's really no set release schedule, but it's been more regular here over the past like 3 or 4 years.
That's another new thing I guess they're doing with streaming. Well, hell, kind of ties back into what we just said with Louder Milk, maybe stopping and starting, but different phenomenon really, because this show never ended. It just, we're taking a couple years off here and there.
I mean, let's face it. This is HBO, Max, Time Warner. Who the fuck? I'm surprised it's still around, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Well, I do have a surprise for you.
Oh?
Yeah. A surprise game. A surprise game. A surprise game. I worked on it on the train.
You've been so rapid fire with these games. They're almost not even surprises anymore.
Well, then it's going to be a surprise when I don't bring any surprise games.
All right, then. What's this week?
So I was driving home and once again reading the newspaper on the train, which was just gossip blogs. I was trying to find some stuff in the news today. And I started reading about celebrity crimes. You see that kind of shit in the end of you read, Sports Illustrated. At the bottom, you get all those spammy, you may also celebrities without their makeup on, or celebrities who have been to jail, or all that crass shit. I click it. I'm the guy. So I clicked this one and it took me to Cosmopolitan magazine, which I didn't even know was still around. And they had a whole list of celebrities who had been in trouble. And I wrote down some notable ones. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to read these to Scott and have him guess who the villain is?
Oh, so I'm going to get the crime. I have to guess who the celeb is.
You have to guess who the celeb is. And I'm going to give you
this.
You're going to get multiple choice. I'm going to make it a little easier for you.
Okay. I like that.
And then the last one will actually be the article that I found that inspired the whole thing. Okay?
Bring it on.
We'll start with this one because it's kind of easy. It'll be like an example, okay? Because I know you're going to know this one.
Okay.
Blank was arrested in 1999 after his neighbors filed a noise complaint. Cops found him naked and playing the bongo drums and arrested him for marijuana possession and resisting arrest. The drug charges were eventually dropped.
Don't give me the choices. I guess this is Justin Bieber.
No, it's not Justin Bieber.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, shit. Maybe this shouldn't have been a sample one. This should have been a real one. The choices are Matthew McConaughey, Woody Harrelson, or Paul Rubens.
Oh, man. I'm going to say Woody Harrelson.
I'm shocked you didn't get this one. I thought you would know this for sure. Yeah, it was McConaughey.
Really?
Yeah, he's famous for dancing naked, playing bongos, and just fucking getting stoned.
All right.
Doesn't he live in an Airstream trailer down in Texas, on a huge plot of land?
I don't know, but he's naked. Wherever he's at, he's naked with bongos.
I'm surprised he even has neighbors that would call the cops.
Yeah, I heard that story years ago. I thought everybody knew that story. All right, this is going to be a fun game.
Let's bring it. Nowhere to go but up.
Nowhere to go but up. All right, this musician was arrested back in 2010 in Las Vegas after he was found with a bag of cocaine in a bathroom at the Hard Rock Cafe.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
The charges were later dropped. All right, we got Bruno Mars, Justin Timberlake, or John Legend.
Yeah, John Legend seems like more of a downer than an upper kind of guy. Let's go Bruno Mars.
Answer is Bruno Mars. Well done.
That Uptown Funk gonna give it to you.
It's gonna funk you up.
Don't believe me, just watch.
All right, we got a good one here. I like this one. This actress was pulled over for driving in the wrong lane. She started arguing with the cops about whether or not they could tell her what to do on, quote, American ground. All right. So this actress was getting into it with a cop who was trying to arrest him. Like, you can't do that to me. Don't you know who I am? I am. Is it A?
Gina Carano.
No, she's not.
Okay.
Is it A, Halle Berry? B, Queen Latifah? C, Reese Witherspoon? Or D, Reese without her spoon?
Oh, boy. I believe this was Halle Berry.
This was Reese Witherspoon. There's tape of it online.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who recorded it, but the cops got her going, "Does you know who I am?"
I'm now being arrested and handcuffed?
Yep.
Do you know my name, sir?
Don't need to know.
You don't need to know my name?
Not quite yet. I'll get
Oh,
that
really?
information.
Okay. You're about to find out who I am.
That's fine. I'm not real worried about you, ma'am. I done told you how things work.
Wow.
Wow.
All right, here's another one. Blank was arrested after shoplifting more than $5,000 worth of merchandise from a Beverly Hills outpost of Saks Fifth Avenue. After her trial, she was sentenced to probation and community service and received a fine. Okay? Is this Winona Ryder?
Yes.
Is this Angela Bassett? Or is this Zendaya? Who, I don't know why Zendaya popped into my head, but I was like, I'm going to put Zendaya on there.
It was definitely Winona Ryder.
It was Winona Ryder. Yeah, you know that story?
Yeah.
She was a shoplifter.
Yeah, that was some high-end shit she was stealing, too. That's like no pack of gum.
I forgot all about it until I had to go to that Cosmopolitan article. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Like, she wasn't famous at the time. I remember it was kind of, maybe I'm wrong about that, but I think she was kind of.
Oh, no, this was after Beetlejuice. She had a lot of stuff going on, but yeah, she was definitely in a slump in her career. She was famous, though, but not as famous as her star was dimming. Let's say that.
That's slump in Hollywood, you know? Got to pay the rent.
It's between the peaks of Beetlejuice and Stranger Things.
This one's fun. Just before he blew up.
Not for them.
Oh. No, this will not be fun for this person, but it's great for us. Just before he blew up with his debut album, Blank was arrested in May 2001 for driving with a suspended license. In 2009, Blank offered to donate $25,000 to charity if TMZ could turn up the mugshot. TMZ found it, and so did the Smoking Gun. Remember that other website, the Smoking Gun?
Yep.
Do you remember it? They found it too.
Oh, no.
So this guy had to donate $12,500 to each one of these two. So instead of $25,000, he split it, and both of them got it to give to their charity. Now, who was this person who said, "You're never going to find my mugshot"? And maybe that means he was denying it.
In 2001. I don't know. Do I get a multiple choice on this one?
You do. Jack White, Dave Matthews, John Mayer.
Dave Matthews was already popular by 2001. I'm going to say... let's go with John Mayer. Didn't the Smoking Gun catch shit because they're the ones that broke the Hulk Hogan story? Aren't they the ones that he sued for all kinds of millions of dollars?
Is it? I don't remember.
I thought that was the Smoking Gun.
Yeah, for a period of time, they were where you went to get, real news stories about public figures that was supposedly like, the shit other people wouldn't publish. So for a hot minute there, it was a destination of mine. But dude, that was probably like the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah. They were like the online Page 6.
Remember that Snopes and Druthers report? Remember there were other websites that were...
Snopes is still out there to like fact check whether or not like urban myth is true. Yeah, no, Snopes is still out there.
I wonder how many conspiracy theorists go to Snopes and just think Snopes is lying and part of the Illuminati.
Probably funded by Warren Buffett.
Oh, that Soros website. Stay away. Stay away. All right, here's a new one. Blank has been arrested multiple times, including her 2007 arrest for DUI and cocaine possession. For that incident, she was sentenced to 1 day in jail and 3 years probation. Several years later, she was sentenced to additional jail time for violating her probation, but spent only 14 hours there. And in a different incident, she was released after 4 hours because of overcrowding.
Wow.
Who the hell could this be? This is a problem child in Hollywood. Was it Lindsay Lohan? Was it Paris Hilton? Or was it Mother Teresa?
I'm going Paris Hilton.
It was Lindsay Lohan.
Was it?
Yeah. I kind of remember that. I remember she was always in and out of jail.
Yeah, I didn't know what for, though. I knew she was always partying, but figured so was Paris Hilton, so oh well.
Funny, they throw her out for overcrowding. Like, how often does people get thrown out for overcrowding? I killed 3,000 people. Well, you're free because jail's too crowded.
I'm sure it has to do with the severity of your crime, too. Don't make room for it if you kill 3,000 people.
All right, here's a good one. Blank was arrested for public drunkenness and disorderly conduct in Savannah, Georgia. According to the police department, the disorderly behavior started when no one would give him a cigarette. Was this Ezra Miller, Shia LaBeouf, or Billy Bob Thornton?
I'm going to go Shia LaBeouf.
It is the vermin himself, Shia LaBeouf, the human vermin.
That's right.
Hate this guy so much. I just hate him.
He was good in Holes, which sounds horrible now that I say it out loud.
I never saw Holes.
It was a good flick.
I don't go to the adults only section of the video store.
Oh, no. Different kind of Holes.
Oh. All right, I got my last one. And this one isn't even an actual quiz. I'm just going to read you the article. This is the article that I found that got me thinking about this whole game. The article was from 2000. And I remember this. And I think it was Stern talking about it. All right. We're going to talk about Halle Berry. 2000. Year 2000.
Yeah.
2000. Ever see that on Conan?
Oh, for Conan? Yeah. Good stuff.
Los Angeles Times. Halle Berry gets probation, fined for leaving scene of crash. Actress Halle Berry pleaded no contest Wednesday to charges of leaving the scene of a West Hollywood car accident and was sentenced to 3 years probation, fined $13,500, and ordered to perform 200 hours of community service. Countering the driver's allegation, the prosecutor in the case at Beverly Hills Superior Court said there was no evidence that Berry had been impaired by drugs or alcohol at the time. Okay, so she was clean. All right, but she crashed into somebody.
She still left the scene of a crime.
But she left the scene of the Golden Globe winning star of the television miniseries Introducing Dorothy Dandridge. I kind of remember that. That was many years ago. She suffered and this is Halle, suffered a forehead gash that required 22 stitches. All right, so this wasn't just a tap. This was a boom, crash. The other driver had a broken wrist and other injuries and had to be helped from her car by rescuers. Okay? This girl got messed up. Halle Berry got a big old gash in the forehead and drove off.
When you were reading this story, in my head, there was no other car involved. I thought she just drove into a tree or something. She hit somebody else's car and took the fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a dick move.
Yeah. The other driver, Haytel Raithatha, 27 years old, alleged that Berry's rented sports utility vehicle ran a red light and plowed into her car and that Berry fled the scene. Berry's lawyers, this is my favorite part. Berry's lawyers said that she lost her recollection of the incident as a result of her head injury.
Huh?
That's a good enough alibi, I guess, right?
Are you kidding? You tried the amnesia move?
Did it work? I mean, she got 3 years probation, and that's it.
What lawyers did you get? How do I get out of this? Well, I saw this on Gilligan's Island. Let's drop a coconut on your head, pretend you have amnesia.
I watched some Gilligan's Island this past weekend.
See anyone with amnesia?
No, not on these, but I know it's happened. It was a reoccurring theme.
Words. Lawyer Richard Sherman said she will now pursue the civil case with renewed determination. She can't hide behind her Fifth Amendment rights any longer, Sherman said. Even now, she's not accepting responsibility for this incident. So, yeah. Woman had a hit and run and nobody remembers it and hurt somebody. Like, that's pretty fucked up.
That's bad.
But that's Hollywood. Some people get away with murder and some get destroyed for what they do.
Yeah, she was in many movies after this happened.
Many movies. This didn't dim her star at all. Mel Gibson, I mean, that guy got destroyed, but, arguably she did something pretty awful too.
It's crazy what the court of common opinion will nail you for and what they'll let you slide on,
It really is. It's kind of like, what's the society in the mood for? Are we too stressed out? Yeah, all right, we're going to look the other way with Reese Witherspoon. But if it's been a slow week, we're going to rail Harvey Weinstein. I mean, we're going to have a great time exposing the guy.
Yeah. I mean, Mel Gibson went the race route. Rarely do people at the race route die quietly.
I actually saw he was having a bit of a resurgence too. Remember he did he was like Santa Claus or something?
No, he was in something about Daddy something too with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, yeah. Was that after the incident?
Oh, yeah, long after the incident. That was only a few years ago.
Yeah, like, why in the fuck does this guy get to come back? Who wants to see him?
Daddy's Home 2. That's what it was called. Daddy's Home
that.
2. Yeah.
Well, that was my game. I hope you enjoyed it.
It was a good game. I didn't know about a lot of that stuff. I mean, it's not shocking, but yeah. I knew there was something about Halle Berry in a car, though. That's why I thought it was her and not Reese Witherspoon earlier on.
Yeah, I put Halle Berry in there because I was inspired because of my last story. And I was like, maybe this will throw people off. Maybe they'll never think I'm going to the Halle Berry story at the end here.
Well, you were correct, sir. You fooled me. Got some mailbag.
Oh, we do?
Yes, we do. Heard from Brother Dan, who joined us for a show about Hollywood inventors or Hollywood inventions a few episodes back.
I tried to forget that one, but yeah. Poor Dan.
Well, apparently Brother Dan's been binging on our shows here. He got back to us here about the McDonald's Monopoly game. He says, the Polaris jet boat was the top prize for McDonald's game, and they all had notoriously bad engine issues, so whoever won that likely sunk on fire. He also says, when they went away from the traditional game board with sticky pieces and went to the stupid instant win app bullshit, or map with pouches instead of the sticky pieces, it all went to hell. Well, I guess Dan's opinion is when they changed the game board and made it actually a legitimate game you could win, the whole thing went to hell in a handbasket.
Wait a minute. I do remember you used to get a game board in the newspaper.
Yeah, we talked about this.
That's why I remember it.
Yes, that may be. He also says we should do a episode about currently extinct video game systems. And I said, well, yeah, we talked about doing that, so nothing new there.
There's a lot. I love Dan, but I love picking on Dan even more. So this is why I pick on Dan, because Dan does stuff like this. Dan says to me, hey, can you donate to my raffle? I got this raffle. And I'm like, no, I don't want it. He goes, too bad. I put $25 in. Please PayPal it to me. I said, no. He says, well, I took it as a yes. I mean, if it wasn't hysterical, I'd be furious.
Less of a donation and more of a shakedown.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good tactic.
Yeah, it sucked.
Well, that's not the only listener I heard from. I received an idea for today's secret topic.
What is it?
So I heard from Brother Jack, who we've heard from before. We read some stuff from Jack here on the air before. He sent me a link to a story. Actually, it was a subreddit that I couldn't open at work. But he was like, trust me, look into this. It's kind of along the lines of the Pepsi Jet, maybe a little bit along the lines of Killdozer. And I was like, well, I don't see how those two things are related. But when I was able to, and I had some connection on my phone, I actually did look at the story. And this topic, it's a little bit uncharted territory for us. It's not 80s or 90s nostalgia, and it isn't Hollywood news or anything like that, no gossip or anything. But it was brought onto my radar here by longtime listener, Brother Jack. And also, this past Sunday happened to be the 148th anniversary of this event. And the event of which I speak is the Kentucky Meat Shower.
Wait a minute. Did you say the Kentucky meat shower?
The Kentucky Meat Shower. I told you there's worse kinds of precipitation out there than rain or snow.
Oh, all right. Did a barnyard explode? Did a bunch of animal parts fall out of a plane? I got to know what happened.
Well, on March 3rd, 1876, while making soap on her front porch in Olympia Springs, Kentucky, farmer's wife, Mrs. Couch, reportedly witnessed pieces of meat fall from the sky. She and her husband believed this to be a sign from God. The scientific community were more eager to find a more terrestrial reason for what happened here.
Sure. I don't remember that part of the Bible. Isn't raining frogs a Bible thing?
Yeah, that was one of the plagues.
Well, that's meat.
Most of the meat cubes measured 2 inches by 2 inches, but some were larger. There was one that measured around 4 inches by 4 inches. And at first appearance, the meat appeared to be beef. However, 2 men who allegedly ate the meat said it tasted more like lamb or deer. So who the fuck ate the sky meat? Like, who are these adventurous assholes?
I got to know. How does...
I know, right?
How... Wait, okay. So meat falls from the sky.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There are people out there that look for roadkill and they take it and cook it or carve it up and sell it. So maybe these are those guys. They find some rando meat cubes just out in the field and they take it home, they cook it up, and they eat it.
Well, no, this was big news at this point. So this happened over like a 200 by 400 yard area, I think it was. And it brought people out. It brought out the scientific community. And these guys were like, let's see what it tastes like.
Ugh. And they were cubes, like somebody had cut cubes of meat.
Yes. I don't know if they were perfect cubes, but they were more cube-like than not. It wasn't like a big steak falling from the sky.
Do we know how this happened, or is this still a mystery?
Hold on.
All right.
No, we know. Well, there's theories. So a sample was sent to the Newark Scientific Association for further analysis.
Nerds!
Research showed the meat to be lung tissue from either a horse or a human infant.
Oh,
So don't go around eating random meat from the sky, all right? Because you could be eating people.
well, it's more likely it's a horse. I mean, infant meat isn't a lot of meat.
Right. Unless it was more than one infant.
We're like cops. Look at us. You know, infant meat would be very small in supply. Horse meat probably could cover a large area.
That'd be one big baby. Just a fact, ma'am. So it's believed that the event was caused by buzzards vomiting the meat over the area. Apparently, buzzards have a habit of vomiting when they see another buzzard vomit. Not unlike me when I see somebody throw up, it makes me want to also throw up. But apparently it's a fight or flight thing for buzzards where they will vomit to make a quick escape when they're threatened. However, blood rain from the spiritual realm may still be to blame. Depends who you talk to.
These were cubes. How did the cubes come out of a buzzard?
I don't know, man. I don't know. There's really no definitive answer, but it's the only thing that makes sense.
No, that doesn't make sense at all. That's like one of the least sensible answers you could have given me. You could have told me somebody threw a baby infant into a plane propeller in the sky and it created the cubes of baby, meat all over the place before I'd believe that story.
You think
Because
that would
why in the
create
world-
cubes? You think a propeller would create cubes?
It would slice and dice better than the stomach of a buzzard.
I don't know, man. They have to bite into small enough pieces.
I think this was like a drug cartel taking all the people they murdered and chopped up and then accidentally hit the wrong button and ejected out the meat. You know, it's got to be something like that.
In 1876.
Oh, all right. I missed the date. 1876. That
In
definitely
Olympia
changes
Springs,
things.
Kentucky. Really? The
What-
drug
what the
cartels.
All right. All right. Taking it back. Listen, there's no stupid questions when you're trying to solve a crime. But they're cubed. That's such a big deal. Meat isn't cubed. Somebody cut it.
I don't know what a buzzard beak can do. I don't know how big a gullet of a buzzard is that it has to be swallowed. Is it 2 inches by 2 inches? I don't know how that works.
I love this story.
Well, I was at work and Brother Jack told me to just Google the Kentucky meat shower. And I said, there's no fucking way I'm Googling the Kentucky meat shower on the work domain, on the work network without losing my job. He said, no, it's safe for work. And I was like, it don't sound it.
Yeah. I used to work at a company and Dick's Sporting Goods was one of my clients. And to play a prank on me, they said, go to the website, Dix.com. No, it's not Dix.com.
Dicksports.com.
It was, yeah, well, don't go to Dix.com. I got hazed.
Oh, fuckers. Well, that's the story and the history and the mythology, if you will, of the Kentucky meat shower.
I just don't believe it. There's got to be. I think it's up to us to solve this mystery.
Dude, I read the Reddit. I did some digging on the Wikipedia. This is the best they came up with, was these buzzards throwing up over top of this county.
And how much did it cover?
It was like a 200 by 400 yard area.
And was it like a couple chunks? You made it seem like there was thousands of chunks.
Well, I mean, it's quite a bit to be considered a shower.
Amazing. What could this be?
I don't know, man. But it hasn't been solved in 148 years.
I'm going to devote my life to figuring out the source of the meat shower.
So I'd have to say, not exactly Killdozer, not exactly Pepsi Harrier Jet. This was definitely more just a weird story that was never on my radar until now.
Why is Hollywood making Twisters 2 when they could be making the Kentucky meat shower?
That is a great question.
We don't need no Twisters 2. We need meat showers.
With Bill Paxton.
Hi, Bill Paxton.
Well, thank you, Brother Jack, for the topic.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. That was fun. Want to do some news?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I only got a couple things here, but this made me laugh because for a while, all we ever did was talk about the strike. Remember that? We were talking about the actor strike.
That's all we had.
And then there was a video game strike. There was all these strikes. It was getting ridiculous.
It's getting to be goddamn ridiculous.
Wouldn't it be funny if there was another strike being talked about?
It depends how much it affects my entertainment.
Oh, it does. The IATSE and Teamsters leaders rally members of crew unions before AMPTP talks begin. This is from Deadline. They say, if we don't get what we want, we will shut it down. Okay, so what are we talking about
That
here?
was a lot of letters. That was a lot of acronyms.
I just spit out a bunch of vowels and consonants, yeah. So the IATSE, and it's the Teamsters Local 399. These are two unions out in LA that take care of things like set design or truck driving or, catering or delivering, anything that is a service.
Yeah.
Mhm. So now they're like, hey, it's our turn to get paid appropriately from these studios. So they were clearly inspired by the strikes and they're like, it's our turn to,
Sure.
get our raise. Here, I'll read you some of this. This year's bargaining cycle marks the first time since 1988 that the IATSE, Teamsters, and the Hollywood Basic Crafts, and that's a whole nother thing, will jointly bargain health and pension benefits for their members under the Shared Motion Picture Pension and Health Plan. I guess I don't see when they're going to do it. There's a line here from Lindsay Doherty, chief negotiator for Teamsters Local 399. She says, isn't it great to have a rally without a strike? So I guess what they're trying to do is they're doing this to let people know that if, to let, the Motion Picture Association, AMPTP, let them know that, hey, we're next. We're rallying. And if you don't give us what we want, I guess a strike is coming.
So this is more of a warning shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And here's a tweet from Deadline. It says, we will shut them down for good. Lindsay Doherty tells the crowd at the IATSC and Hollywood Basic Crafts rally, shut them down for good. Hey, I like Hollywood. Don't do that, Lindsay.
Pay up, sucker.
Get a raise, but don't kill Hollywood. Come on.
Yeah.
Some of the toughest language on Sunday came from Teamsters General President Sean O'Brien, who referred to the studios as white-collar crime syndicates.
Wow.
I mean, they do make a lot of money. They do keep a lot of it. But I don't know their finances to tell you if it's unreasonable, but everybody seems to think it is.
Well, they got to be broke. They keep shelving all these $1 million movies that don't go anywhere as tax write-offs.
Oh, that was the story we talked about. I think it was probably 6 months ago when the strike was going on. Iger's like, we don't have the money you think we do. There's a lot of costs and a lot of, losses over here and a lot of things that you guys don't know about. Well, then tell us.
Yeah. Maybe you shouldn't greenlight everything. We should have some fucking quality control in this bullshit.
So there we go. Got another strike. If that stops Hollywood again, I don't know what they're allowed to do. I mean, are they allowed to keep on making movies? They just got to go to the store themselves, the actors?
I'm going to scab. I'm going to go out there and make cheese sandwiches.
Nice. You're going to see like George Clooney goes to work. All right, I'm ready to shoot my scene. Well, we need you to go to Whole Foods, pick up lunch.
Comes with like a lunch pail.
Yeah. A pail. What's that? That's my lunch pail. That's an old word. All right. And then here's my other story that kind of ties into another story. I'm going to try to merge them here because I want to go get dinner.
Speaking of lunch pails.
Yeah, there you go. You are now the king of segues. So this one is from Futurism. It says, wait, did Elon Musk just hint he's going to buy Disney?
No. Oh, don't do that.
So he was at a movie premiere for a movie called Lola, which is a small indie flick. Yeah. And it's co-directed by the actress Nicola Peltz, who I don't know, but her father is Nelson Peltz. Do you know that name?
No.
Nope.
All right. That's my other story that I'm merging into this. He's an investor. He's a high-end investor, and he's furious with Disney. He's like, you guys are terrible at running a company. You are doing everything wrong with your leadership. And since he's a big investor, he's trying to do a takeover, or he's just trying to convince the board to let him in. He's being very vocal, and he's a pain in Bob Iger's ass. All right. So that's why people think maybe Elon showed up at this small indie premiere because he wanted to hang out with Nicola Peltz's father.
Okay. All right.
To try to get closer to him because he's having a fight with Disney. You know about the Elon fight.
Yeah.
He's mad that Bob Iger decided to pull all of Disney's marketing from the platform when he made an anti-Semitic statement. He denies making the statement, but he went out. Elon went out on stage and he, do we play it? I think we played it. Fuck him. Fuck you. And then he goes, hi, Bob, for Bob Iger sitting in the audience because he hates Bob Iger.
Yeah.
And there's a whole thing that we talked about with him trying to back Gina Carano.
Yeah.
For when she got fired, he saw that as a assault to free speech. So now he's backing her in her issues with Disney. And I guess something's flaring up again. I think there's, so he hates Disney. So they ask him, they go, what are you doing here? And he goes, thinking about what companies to acquire. And they're like, okay, that must be a hint that he's looking to buy Disney.
Yeah, I mean, Disney's always seems to be under the gun for a hostile takeover. It happened back during the Eisner era. It's just always somebody looking to swoop in and take over.
So Elon's interesting to me. I mean, he's polarizing. I love him because he's polarizing. Sometimes I agree with what he's doing. Sometimes I disagree. But he's got power. He's got money. And, he really is trying to make the world better. I don't know if you heard about him suing OpenAI because they were supposed to be, this whole ChatGPT thing when it came out and Elon invested in it, it was supposed to be a nonprofit thing. It was supposed to be created AI to make the world better. So now he's suing because the original intent of what he invested in is not there. Now it's a money play. And, so there's a lot of things that he does to help the planet.
As he sees it.
Sure, as he sees it. He is kind of like a Tony Stark.
Or he's kind of like any James Bond villain who has this idea of how he could make the world better in his image.
It's perfectly
you just don't
said.
know which way the fuck who knows how it's gonna fucking fall or play out, Did we consider all the possible outcomes here?
Well, it's interesting. Like, if he becomes the head of Disney, I'm not happy with Disney right now because I think they just gave up on their storytelling, and that's the most important thing, is a good story. Is he the one to fix it? I don't think so. I don't know, man. But he's got the money to do it. He's so rich. And they're hurting. And if he went up to Bob Iger and he's like, I'm going to offer you this much money, like, Bob might be like, you're going to save my ass, and, you're going to take care of some of this debt that we're in.
Disney's all about shareholders. So, yeah, sure.
Yeah, if the shareholders want him in, they'll probably let him in. I'm not a shareholder anymore. I was, but I had such a minor holding, I don't think I have any say.
Yeah, I didn't have voting rights with my shares.
Well, that's really it. Otherwise, it was a pretty slow news week, at least for the news that I look for. And I was away in New York.
The only other story I saw that kind of falls into stuff we talk about is Dakota Johnson came out talking about the negative reviews that Madam Web was getting. She says she'll never do a movie like this again.
Good.
I agree. She says that the film that came out was a far cry from the script she signed on to, which I clearly, with all the overdubbing and rewriting, and I'm sure she wasn't going to be a psychic paramedic.
Everything I heard, she was terrible in it. I'm never going to do one of these again. Yeah, I think you shouldn't. Apparently you don't know how to do them.
I don't think you're going to have that option to say no, because they're not going to ask you.
And the thing she's saying, though, that's a real problem. You sign on for a movie, you read the script, you're like, I want to be tied to this. This is a good story. And then the movie changes 9 million times and the product comes out, and now you're embarrassed because it's so bad. It's happening all the time.
Sure.
It always happened. But now it's happening a lot more because of the way that they're making movies in this new, assembly line way.
I don't know if it's an assembly line as much as it is, let's throw all this shit at the wall and hope something sticks.
Yeah. Well, I know Marvel, the MCU side, they plan out these big action sequences and they send them out to like an assembly line. They send them out and have all these people kind of work on them and send them back the way they want them. And then they end up with these big pieces that they have to work into the script.
Yeah, I feel like there's like a backbone of a story in there somewhere, and they have to, okay, now find a place for this piece to fit.
Maybe that worked when you had the Hulk fight the Hulk Buster.
Yeah.
In Age of Ultron, but some of these major scenes don't look great. You should cut them. You should maybe change them, maybe get ahead of them before you have to work them into a story. When they don't come back from the vendor looking good, don't use it. Don't use it. Don't use the bad special effects.
And it makes the writing look like some kind of Mad Libs.
Maybe we ought to have Hollywood movies written with Mad Libs. I remember Mad Libs. They were fun.
Yeah, me and the kids do Mad Libs every now and again. Car trips, road trips, stuff like that. Get some good stories. They ain't going to make great Hollywood either. Well, I think that's it, man, right? No more stories?
I'm just still thinking about what Dakota Johnson said. I'm not making any more of these. What, movies? You're not making any more movies? Because they're all like this. They all have the chance of changing on you.
I don't know.
I can see you on in the show, and I'm just going to sit and talk about Dakota Johnson.
You're the one that wants to eat.
I am the one that wants to eat. Sorry, Dakota. I can't defend you any longer. Why don't we shut this thing down, huh?
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Go out there, tell a friend. Let's keep growing this thing. Always a fun time. We'll see you next week.
You want to get out and get up in my investigation? That's okay.
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, guess what? We have a law for that. It's called obstruction.
I'm
Welcome to
obstructing
America.
your justice.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
I'm being anti-American.
Yep. Go ahead and sit down.
Wow. What's up first?
It'd be a lot easier on you.
Interesting. Arresting me.
I tried. I'm sorry. I absolutely 100% tried. I have nothing to do with that. I know. You've been polite and courteous.